What's up, guys? It's Robert Rule of 2 Review, and today, Nintendo's NFC plans finally come into focus. Okay, just a quick short video for you guys today. I'm talking about some more Nintendo stuff, and I know I've been doing kind of a lot of Nintendo stuff over the past couple of weeks. Most of my videos, probably more than half of the last several, have been Nintendo related. And as much as I always love talking about Nintendo because they're my favorite company, I recognize that there's so many more things happening in the industry, and I love the other guys just as much. It's just sort of kind of been a coincidence. So I promise not to keep inundating you guys with so much Nintendo-specific information, but that's kind of the news today that I really felt inspired to talk about, because what I'm talking about is pretty cool, could be pretty massive and wonderful if it's all handled correctly. So I figured, why not kind of get everything turned on and sort of talk about it for a minute. So if you guys can think back to 2011, which was the initial unveiling of the Wii U, believe it or not, it almost seems like that's too far ago to have known what the Wii U was, but that really was when we first heard about it at E3 2011. And some of the initial videos that were kind of showing off the ideas of the Wii U, the gamepad, a lot of the functionality, the purposes of some of the unique technology built into the system, and what Nintendo was trying to do, what their direction and focus was, what the system. One of the things that they were kind of big on talking about at that time was what is called NFC, Nintendo's NFC. What NFC stands for, in case you don't know or have forgotten, excuse me, is near field communication. And what that technology is the ability to have an electronic device that sends a signal to another electronic receiver. And the way it relates to the Wii U is that the receiver is actually built into the Wii U gamepad. If you look at your Wii U gamepad on, I think, the bottom left, I don't have mine in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it's the bottom left. On the corner, there is a little white outlined rectangle, and it's kind of like indented. It's got a little bit of a groove in it. And that exact little square, that section of the gamepad, is the receiver of the NFC technology. Now, a good example of this is what the Skylanders games did, where the Skylanders games gave you this kind of little device that was built to look like kind of a stone pedestal or a platform, I believe. And then you could buy for a couple of bucks, almost like a toy, in all sorts of toy stores, outlet stores, GameStops, video game stores. You could buy a bunch of these Skylanders figures, and each figure represented a different character, good guy or bad guy in the game. And by taking that character, that figurine, and placing it on the receiver thing that you can get with the game, it adds that character to the game. They pop up in the game world. I think you get special abilities, maybe items, weapons, things like that. I never played Skylanders. I heard it was good, and I heard that this technology actually worked really well. The bottom line is that was remarkably successful. That game was a huge hit, huge smash. Disney Infinity, by the way, last year does the same thing, where you're getting Disney figures and you're adding them into the game and into the world by getting these little figurines. And that was also a huge smash hit because of the way this stuff works. And you're basically, the companies who make these stuff are making killer profit because they get to sell hundreds and millions and thousands of millions of these little figures, and everyone's buying them. The game costs money, the figures cost money, and they're just making money hand over fist. And the people who are playing them really seem to like them and enjoy the collectability and enjoy the functionality that these things actually add to their respective games. So that brings us to today, and this recent news. We've known that Nintendo built this technology into the Wii U. Some of the early videos, there was one specific one I remember from Ubisoft showing off people playing Rayman Legends and Assassin's Creed, and they had like a Rayman figure and a Glowbox figure and one of, I don't even know who it would have been, Ezio or somebody, one of the assassins, somebody in a dark fucking cloak, an assassin guy, and they would set them on the controller, and then things would happen inside the game because of it. That again was 2011 and 2012, before the Wii U ever came out. Since the console's launch just over a year ago, we haven't seen anything of it. We haven't heard hide nor hair. We've had no idea if anything was ever going to happen. So now, just this week, there was another Nintendo's investor meeting. And in this investors meeting, Iwata finally discussed the fact that they are moving forward with these plans and they're planning some really cool things. Now, we only know scant details. I'm going to talk about the little bit that I know and talk about what I think could be good ideas going forward with this idea. So again, we don't know much about this yet. Obviously, we're going to know more in the coming months, and especially come E3. And you better bet your ass that I'm going to be making quite a few videos about E3 throughout that week. I'm really, really excited to do that. I'm going to cover all the different shows, press conferences, information. It's going to be a lot of fun. And this will probably be something I have a lot of news and information to talk about once E3 comes. But as of right now, a month or so before the show, this is just an initial announcement. They showed some examples of this technology behind closed doors and to the press, and I found out about this through some videos and some IGN stuff, where they didn't really get to show any of what they saw, but they did get to talk about it. So we haven't really seen it. Us, the gaming public, the gaming press, people who do commentary like myself, we haven't actually seen it. We've just heard about it. And apparently it's supposed to be technology that will work both with the 3DS and the Wii U, so that's kind of cool. I don't really know how that's going to work, but they're trying to integrate the 3DS Wii U connectivity big time over, coming soon over the next few years with the Wii U. They have also confirmed that this year, 2014, some of this NFC product is going to become available. And we don't know what that means. Is it going to be the figurines become available and they do things for games that already exist? Is it going to be that, one of the games that we know is coming out is going to end up actually using these? Is it going to be that they release a brand new game that we don't know about that specifically uses these? Who knows? But the cool thing is, when you think of Nintendo's characters and their universes, it's rife for the possibility of using these figures of all these different people that we love. It's like Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers has 30 or 40 characters that are Nintendo characters, and we all love them just because. And now we can get actual little figurine versions and use them within certain kinds of games. So it's really, really, really neat. Now, I do have to say that for myself, even as a Nintendo fan, I'm still not even at the point. I know I maybe sound excited, but that's just because I like talking about gaming and I like talking about Nintendo. But I don't really know that I'm 100% on board with the idea myself. What I am on board with is this move as a business decision. I do think that this product and this concept is brilliant. So I think they should do this. I'm glad they're doing it, and I think it's going to be very successful and make the company a ton of money. Make back some of the lost revenue that they had from most of the first year of the Wii U and start to get some things turned around, even though, again, they are not broke, don't get me wrong. But I think that this is going to be smart, and I do think that people are going to love it. I myself, I don't know that I'm going to love this yet. I'm going to have to see exactly what they're going to do with it. But I like Nintendo, I like their characters and universes, so the collectability aspect is certainly kind of interesting. I do get a little bit nervous about getting invested in something that's adding more product to our living rooms and our shelf space and all this stuff in our homes, our computer desks. Because, it takes me back to like the Wii U balance board and all the Guitar Hero and Band Hero shit, and it's like we had too much stuff that we were attaching to our games to be able to play them. And this concept has always kind of, harkened back to that for me. But I've also never experienced it. I never played Disney Infinity or Skylanders. I don't know how cool that stuff seems to be, but it was so successful, you'd have to think it's pretty cool. And again, Nintendo's characters, we love them. In the gaming community, they are the most beloved. So there is a gigantic, massive, mammoth potential to make crazy money and be very successful with this. And some of the ideas that I've heard talked about are like, maybe you could take like save data or in Smash Brothers special move data and put it into these figures and take it to different Wii U's in your friend's house and stuff, which is pretty cool. Like you buy a Link figure or a Mario figure and you can put special move data and special information into that and move it around to different Wii U's and gamepads, which is pretty cool. This is from IGN's video that Jose Otero and Brian Altano talked about. Another cool thing that Jose Otero brought up in the same video, and I think this is pretty cool, is if they can further sell and promote the virtual console. Like the great example he had, and you should go watch that video if you haven't seen it. The great example he has is, maybe buying a Link figure for one game and you get it home and it actually has like one of the Zelda NES or Super NES games on it and you can download and you have access to it because you purchased that figure and now it's yours and you own it on your Wii U system, or your 3DS or whatever. That's definitely pretty cool stuff. What I think about is if they do some sort of Nintendo themed game and these figures end up adding characters within that game, like a Smash Brothers that isn't exactly a fighting game. I certainly start to think about a brand new game that's created just to use these things. But the idea that Iwata was kind of putting in place was that they might be able to be ubiquitous and used for anything available on the Wii U. Not to mention, this is something cool I thought about. What if with third-party games and third-party developers, they start to work with Nintendo to make this possible? What if we can get a Bayonetta figure that does certain things, and stuff for the Wonderful 101 and the X stuff and Sonic and other who knows what else? Like Sam Fisher, or I don't even know who to call Assassin's Creed people anymore. I know there's a bunch of them. Assassin's Creed generic guy number 5. Like those people, and you could start to get figures that do those types of things in Nintendo games. That's a really exciting prospect. And so I hope that this works out, and I hope it proves very successful for Nintendo and any other third-party companies that jump on board. And honestly, I think it's going to. So my last thought here is we know that come E3, we're going to get a bunch of information, probably more solid and concrete information about this. The idea of the business model, what games are going to use it, what figures are going to be available, what companies are going to be involved, all sorts of cool stuff that'll hopefully be really exciting and very, very well implemented. I believe in Nintendo. This is the kind of thing that they really shine at, so I think that they will knock this out of the park. It's not guaranteed, but I feel pretty good that they will. But there's one last thing that I haven't heard anyone talk about when it comes to this, and I like to think I'm going to be the first one to break this to the internet. And even if I'm not, who gives a shit? This idea is brilliant. Nintendo, if you want to make quadrillions of dollars, this is what you need to do. Release a Pokemon MMO and release Pokemon figures using this NFC technology and prepare to buy a bigger bank vault because the money you will make is astronomical. Unheard of profit will be made from this concept. Everyone already just wants an actual HD console next-gen Pokemon MMO experience. And I say this, by the way, not as a Pokemon fan. I don't really give a shit about Pokemon, but it's so flippin' popular. And a bunch of my buddies, my grown-up, adult, tattooed, bearded, crazy, pierced friends love the shit out of Pokemon. People who you would see on the street and be like, oh, they don't like Pokemon. There's no way they like the Pikachu. But it turns out they fucking love the Pikachu and they love Pokemon. Everyone loves it. Make that game. You want to take advantage of NFC, Nintendo? Release all these 400 or 500 Pokemon, however many Pokemon exist. Release a figure for each one of those. And an amazing, well-implemented hardcore Pokemon RPG that will take advantage of whatever Pokemon you buy you can use in the game, or I don't even know what else you could do. Jesus flippin' Christ. I can't even fathom how much money they're going to make. Hopefully you agree. I know that there's probably a lot of Pokemon fans, a lot of Nintendo fans subscribe to my channel and Rule of Two Review, which I get it because I talk about Nintendo so much. I like that. But I do know that Pokemon kind of crosses boundaries amongst all gamers, and you don't have to be just a Nintendo fan to be a Pokemon fan. And I know that, honestly, it's the kind of thing that would sell millions of gamers who don't have a Wii U on a Wii U. So there's nothing but potential there. I'm just really proud to think that I'm probably one of the first few people to talk about it, think about that idea, and put it on the internet, you know? And I just hope that this is something that they do because, goddamn, man, Pokemon NFC game, just forget about it. I can't even, like I said, I can't even fathom how much money Nintendo would make. Okay, well, that's it, guys, for all the Nintendo and the NFC news and stuff today. Mark my words, if a Pokemon NFC game happens, you heard it here first. So hopefully you guys like what I'm doing and you like Rule 2 Review. If you do, you should please subscribe to the channel because it helps me and the channel out big time, and I super appreciate it. If you like the video, you can like and share the video and share your comments and your thoughts about all this stuff below. Rule 2 Review does have a Facebook page, so you can follow the links below to that and the Twitter page and the Twitter, which is Rule 2 Review. And that is pretty much it. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and as always, I will catch you next time.